427 BC, Athens, Greece. Are they having a feast? What are they doing at the altars?
They're sacrificing the oxen to Zeus.
To who?
Zeus. He's the Lord of the sky and the most powerful god.
Why are you sacrificing to him?
In his honor and for the blessings of good weather. Today is a special day.
Why? What's going on?
It's the first day of the Olympics. The events include the following. Foot races ranging from 192 meters to 3,400 meters. Even a race where they will wear full body armor. Horse racing and chariot races for the healthy. Boxing and the pentathlon, including sprinting, long jump, javelin hurling, discus throwing, and wrestling.
Winners receive an olive wreath and put their hometowns on the map. There are over 13,000 athletes that compete at the Summer and Winter Olympics in 33 different sports in nearly 400 events. The first, second, and third place finishers in each event receive gold, silver, or bronze Olympic medals, respectively.
All around our community, athletes work to be the best that they can be, and many aspire to be Olympians.
Like on the track and field.
Like in our swimming pools.
On our volleyball court.
And on our basketball courts.
Those are so cute. Wait, we need to do a report. Want to do it over there? Yeah, let's go.
Oh my gosh, final pass, I'll get a B and I will get down.
Your history teacher assigned you?
Well, Mr. Moore assigned me Greek architecture. What about you?
Me too. Hey, we should work together on it.
Sounds great. So where do we start?
By giving me a pin. Okay, so, well, behind the magnificent architecture, there was a philosophy.
And that philosophy was to discover the eternally valid rules that ensure form proportion, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Greek architecture was the ideal architecture.
Which is why I've been copied so long. You know, kind of like Gucci and Cabana.
Good point.
After Doric traditions started becoming old and the Dark Ages had been destroyed, larger houses and stone walls were built around villages, but it didn't stop there.
So what does it all lead to?
Well, it led to the Ionic times. Now there were just houses and no more palaces because the Greece chose democracy as their government.
You mean like our government?
Exactly. Since the government was a democracy, it wouldn't be right for some men to have palaces, some men to have houses, because democracy was the government that was supposed to make everybody have equalness.
Mm-hmm. So, did this architecture really take off?
Actually, it did. Grecians started to have new interests in the town planning, such as streets began to be laid out in front like straight lines instead of occurring naturally.
And they built the theater, right?
Mm-hmm. Just like the one in our gym. And by the way, you have pretty handwriting. I can barely read it.
You're too cute.
I know I am. And the columns too. The ones that raise up the roof.
Raise the roof. Nice. You got any pictures?
I think I have one right here.
Well, symbols of Greece, such as the Parthenon, which was built in 447 to 438 BC, has the Doric style, which is a simple but sturdy structure with columns with a capital of a circle topped with a square. The Doric style columns worked well with long rectangular buildings. This is why they used it for the Parthenon. To give the look of power, the Greeks didn't use fancy carvings or capitals. It was just plain, but it had the look of strength and might.
You know, I never knew that.
We're here to help each other, right?
Well, don't stop talking. Come on, continue.
Okay. This is the Ionic order. The artists in Greece joined with the architects and created the exquisite Ionic order columns.
What was the difference then?
Well, the columns had longer shafts, which made it look slender. They also had flutes, which ran up and down the columns, you know, like the indentions you see in the columns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the base, instead of a block, looked like a stack of rings. The capital consisted of 2 scrolls instead of just a plain circle or a square.
Things get mighty fancier, don't they?
Well, if you just wait a minute, I'll tell you. The Ionic order was then changed to the Corinthian order. The Corinthian columns had a capital with carvings of leaves, flowers, or even fruits. Even though the Greeks came up with the idea of Corinthian order, the Romans used it more than they did.
This is interesting. It's the most decorative that I know of.
Yep, that's why modern-day people like it best. If you go to certain colleges, you'll see the different styles of Grecian architecture.
You know, I hope we can make a paper out of this.
Me too.
But I think we can.
Yeah. Okay, so let me finish these notes. Right. Okay, let's put this up.
Okay.
I found Aladdin.
Oh, I was gonna watch that tonight.
Oh, well, here.
I am here at St. Margaret's Cathedral Catholic Church in Foley. This church uses the Gothic architecture that was first done in Europe. This church has stained glass windows. Stained glass windows were first done in Munich, Germany in 1906 and were first placed in Our Lady of Victory, which was in Pennsylvania. Sadly, the parish closed in 2004. Where did the stained glass windows go? Well, they went here at St. Margaret's. St. Margaret's acquired them and got them redone to fit from the Romanesque style to the Gothic style. The example I have right here is the crucifixion of Jesus. Europeans first used stained glass windows to tell biblical stories, for church could not read at the time. These times were called Dark Ages.
Democracy. What is democracy? Democracy is a government by the people. In 500 BC, at the Greek city-state of Athens, they had a direct democracy, in which the people made all the decisions. We have a representative democracy in the U.S. Here we elect representatives like the president, the congressman, and the councilman. These people help govern our cities, states, and our country.
We are here at U.S. Representative Joe Bonner's office in Foley, Alabama. Congressman Bonner also has an office in Mobile where he allows the community to come in and go over issues like veterans benefits and disabilities.
We are standing in Fort Morgan, where the British attacked the United States in 1814. 1 year later, the British returned and attacked again. Afterward, the Treaty of Ghent was signed, which ended the war, also known as the Battles of Fort Boyer. In World War II, the troops were stationed here in Fort Morgan to protect the borderline. These troops were stationed here with cannons filled with gunpowder.
You know, gunpowder was made by the Chinese. In 300 AD, a Qin dynasty scientist, Ji Hong, had wrote down the three basic components of gunpowder: charcoal, sulfur, and potassium nitrate. He described the explosion and why he thought gunpowder exploded. According to Ji, when gunpowder burns, it releases gases bigger in volume than gunpowder itself, thus creating an explosion. Large amounts of black powder were needed to fire the fort's cannons. The powder was stored in small, well-protected rooms known as magazines. The fort was designed with 2 magazines.
Here at Foley Middle School, there's concrete in between the bricks, cinder blocks, and even the sidewalk we walk on today. Concrete is basically everywhere. In 2006, concrete was the most successful and profitable industry in the U.S. next to the automobile. I mean, without concrete, things would not be as safe as they are today.
The Romans were the most influential architects in world history. Look over there, you see that bridge? Yeah, the Romans made that too. At first out of small stones, which were tightly packed together. They used the arch as a basic structure. As time went on, the Romans started to use concrete to make stronger and more permanent bridges.
Think of this. You're on a boat heading to the Bahamas to have a great time with some family and friends. But suddenly, you aren't very sure which way to go. And since you're the one piloting the boat, you've run into a problem. So my question is, without the compass, where would we be? We would be lost.
What happens if you put the needle in the wrong spot?
It usually hurts. You have about a dime area of error, and if it gets out of that area of about a dime diameter, then the patient will usually have some more discomfort.
A certain type of needle to perform acupuncture?
Yes, there are companies that make acupuncture needles that are specifically for acupuncture. Some are made in Japan, some are made in China. And I have here on my cart a couple different needles for y'all to look at when you're ready. Japanese needles are usually much shorter and they're a little firmer. You can see the gauge of the needle's a little thicker as compared to this, much flimsier. And these are used for shorter levels of insertion. And the Japanese feel that the shorter needle technique is more patient compliant. Ross, when I insert these, all you feel is a little tap. I've had some patients who have had to have actually acupuncture done while they had dental procedures. Some people can't have Novocaine when they get teeth drilled, so they can use acupressure on that point, rub it, and that'll many times help gate the pain.
Can you do acupuncture in animals?
Yes, and that is done routinely, especially on racehorses. They use acupuncture quite a bit. I think the needle's going to hurt coming out more than went in.
Oh, no, you tell me.
What do you think? I guess so.
Like, you can see like where the little ends are, where it's kind of like a little red.
Alcohol? Yeah, only if they bleed. And 90% of them, there's no blood. Yeah, they
Blood.